stand by. UAV ready to deploy. Count hostile counter UAV overhead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Call of Duty franchise. I know, surprise, surprise, like what else do I talk about here in the channel? Warzone 2 is doing very well, and that's going to be kind of the focus of this video here today. Not necessarily just Warzone, but like Call of Duty as a whole, and the transition that they've been making over the course of like the last 5 years, and why if you're not happy with the franchise now, it may not ever be getting better. That's kind of just the way of things. So Warzone 2, the big news is Warzone 2 reached 25 million players in 5 days. Now, just for context, the original Warzone, which you would think would be a little bit bigger, did 30 million players in 10 days. So yeah, Warzone 2 is actually doing very well when it comes to the amount of people that they're reaching and the amount of money that Call of Duty is making. If you guys didn't hear, Modern Warfare 2 surpassed $1 billion in revenue in 10 days, which beat Black Ops 2 for like the amount of money they can make in such a short period of time. Like Modern Warfare 2, despite the issues, despite the bugs, despite all the feedback that you see on channels like mine or maybe 8 Thoughts or Blame Truth or even Exclusive Ace, like I'm watching like all of Exclusive Ace's videos. That dude loved the subtle way that he pokes fun at all the bugs and how like the in-game menus just lie to you straight up. They say that the weapon does things that it doesn't actually do. Like he's got to be going crazy, man. Like anytime you see a gun in this game, they're like, yo, this has subsonic ammo, and Ace is like, no, it doesn't. This gun's actually really good at range. No, it isn't. He just has to go, like, everything in the game basically lies to the player base, and then Ace has to go in there and test every single thing because you can't take anything at face value anymore. Man, it's getting ridiculous. But like I was saying, like, there's so many issues with the games themselves, but it doesn't matter because the games are making money hand over fist. The amount of people that are playing is ridiculous. The amount of money that they're making is ridiculous, and that is why Call of Duty is what it is right now. And Charlie Intel's been putting out these tweets past couple days, and honestly I agree almost 99% of the time with Charlie, because I feel so like Charlie Intel is a COD news source that's like kind of like me in a way, and I'm not trying to like compare myself, I suppose, but like we are old school COD fans that have been playing the franchise for over a decade, and we've seen everything, we remember everything, we keep up with all the news, and you know what I mean, like we're just like two people that really pay really close attention to the franchise. And when Charlie puts out these tweets saying that, you know what, if you don't like the footstep audio, if you don't like the fast time to kill, if you don't like the noob-friendly aspects of games like Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2, well, it sucks to say, but those aspects aren't going anywhere. And we can complain day and night about the combat record not being there at launch or this, that, or the other thing, but when it comes to the core foundation of the COD franchise as it is right now, and how we consider them to be more catering to the casual player base, I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, Warzone 2 is killing it. Modern Warfare 2 is killing it. And so if there are problems with the game that maybe you or I or any number of COD fans may have with the direction of the franchise, it's important to remember that things are just not going to be changing because they are catering the game now to that more casual player base. It makes sense, right? They are a business at the end of the day, and it does hurt when you're an old school COD fan that's been playing forever and you see the franchise kind of take this entire new direction, and you may not necessarily agree with the direction that it's going in, but at the end of the day, you have to understand that Call of Duty is a business, and they are in the business of making money. That is what they're trying to do here. And when it comes to the idea of skill-based matchmaking or engagement optimized matchmaking or whatever the hell, there are obvious downsides to it for sure. I've discussed that to death here on the channel, but at the end of the day, it's all about getting those casual players into the game because that is the target audience that they want to go after. And is that a good thing? I mean, it's good for the franchise. The franchise is thriving. The franchise is making money hand over fist. More and more people are playing the game. Therefore, that's good for content creators, that's good for advertisers, that's good for virtually everything. But it does suck when you're somebody that's been playing the game for a very long time and you feel punished for doing well. Your connection gets worse the better you are, and just games themselves feel kind of samey because you're always, if you're like an above average player, you're in that very tight bracket of above average players, and every game kind of feels the same because there's no real variety. It used to be back in the day, and I sound like such a boomer right now, but even Mark Rubin, who is the executive producer at Infinity Ward for over a decade, even he says like skill-based matchmaking is bad for a number of of reasons, but one of the biggest ones was the fact that back in the day, every match felt a bit varied. There were people in the lobby that were worse than you, there were people in the lobby that were better than you, and the better you did, on average, you got better. You know what I mean? And eventually, you went from that person getting stomped all game to being that person doing the stomping, and it was fun to watch you grow as a player, and that same growth and that same progression does not necessarily happen with skill-based matchmaking anymore. But then again, and Hutch talked about this on a recent episode of PKA, and I did listen to it, and he did make a pretty good point. I don't think Hutch was necessarily trying to advocate that skill-based matchmaking is a great thing. I think the big thing he was trying to advocate is, look, they know that this is going to make them money, and that's why they're going to continue to do it. And we've seen the patents, we've seen all the things in the past, like they are tracking everything from your accuracy to kill death ratio, win-loss ratio, how much you move throughout a given game and how quickly you move, what kind of weapons you use. They are tracking everything, which is nuts, because like skill-based matchmaking and that algorithm as a whole is just making money for them hand over fist, and it's so sophisticated and it never seems to fail. But meanwhile, the game itself seems to fail quite often when it comes to having invisible walls on Shoot House, or accidentally increasing the footstep audio by 75% with a recent update, which I think they finally fixed. But you know what I mean, like there's so many random bugs and issues with Call of Duty as a whole, but skill-based matchmaking, that thing's never gonna fail. And I do think it is important to bring up kind of like what Hutch said in that podcast episode, and kind of reiterate here in the channel that it's here for a reason. Skill-based matchmaking is here to cater to those newer players. It's there because it does make them money. Like every game out there virtually has skill-based matchmaking, even in quick play nowadays. That's the future of the games industry. It's been what everyone in the games industry has been doing for years now. It's just getting more and more sophisticated, and it's only going to continue to happen and be refined upon in the coming years. And what's weird about that is we kind of have to accept the fact that if you're going to be playing COD, something like skill-based matchmaking is going to be there. If you're going to be playing COD going forward, then you're going to have to deal with the fact that certain aspects of the game's design are going to be built with the idea of pleasing those casual players that really don't care as much as you. And if you want to continue to enjoy the franchise that for a lot of us has been a major part of our lives for a big portion of our lives, then we kind of just have to suck it up almost, which fucking sucks to say, but it's true. And you guys saw, like, my stats in Modern Warfare 2 are horrible, and it's because I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I even made a video saying Infinity Ward has made me not care, and honestly, it's a different way for me to approach the game. Like, every time I go into a new COD, I am very much a completionist. I try to get to the highest rank, I try to get all the challenges done, I try to do all the camos and all that. Yeah, I'm doing that again, but because we didn't have stat tracking or anything like that at the very beginning of this game's life cycle, I'm approaching the game from a much more casual perspective. I'm not playing hours and hours and hours on end every single day like I may be used to. I'm working on leveling up my rocket launchers and doing things like that, and I find the game a bit more fun, but I don't take it as seriously, because if you keep pushing against the current, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to, like, and you guys know, I'm going to continue to talk about the bad aspects of skill-based matchmaking. I'm going to continue to call out stupid things like the footstep audio and no dead silence perk and the stupid new perk system, which doesn't make any sense, which makes the UAVs ridiculously OP, making Ghost an ultimate perk was stupid. Like, you guys know, I'm going to continue to speak out against that stuff. But at the same time, if you're trying to be a COD fan that wants to just play the game and enjoy it, if you're always going against the current and you're always getting pissed off at every single update and every single little thing that happens, you're really not putting yourself in a position to have fun with the game, and probably you're going to burn yourself out pretty quickly. So what have I been doing? I mean, if I'm going to make it through this year as a content creator, I need to continue to make content. You know what I mean? I need to continue to play the game, and approaching the game from the perspective of I may not like it, but I can deal with it when it comes to certain design aspects has actually been doing wonders for my own personal mental health. I mean, you're sitting there getting frustrated with it every single day, trying to maintain a high win-loss ratio in a game that is actively stacking the deck against me. It's just not fun anymore. You know what I mean? Like a game like Black Ops 4, I had like a 2.5 KD and like a 5 win loss or something like that. And while I love Black Ops 4, it was also stressful to try to like maintain those stats, even though Black Ops 4 wasn't really known for skill-based matchmaking nearly as much. So going from Black Ops 4 into Modern Warfare 2019, I tried doing the exact same thing. I just got frustrated. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Every game I'm facing Scumpy. I can't just relax. And you guys know, like, the completionist aspect, like, you're facing Scump Jr. over there, only using his golden M4. Meanwhile, I'm trying to level up, I don't know, name some random LMG or something like that, and I'm getting my shit pushed in. And it it created this environment where the game was just never fun because I was playing by rules that I invented for myself in my head. You know what I mean? So I am all for my terrible stats in Modern Warfare 2. I'm going to continue leveling up those stupid rocket launchers. I'm going to continue trying to do every challenge in the game and level up all the guns and things like that. And I hope to see some really cool things happening with Modern Warfare 2 as we go forward, because if you're making $1 billion in revenue, we're talking profit here, man. Like, if you've made $1 billion in 10 days and this is going to be a 2-year game, there's already 25+ million people playing Warzone 2, we better see some cool shit. And as you guys know, as soon as I said that, like, so many of you probably rolled your eyes. You're like, Nero, we're not going to see any of that. They ain't going to put that money back in the game. Why would they do that? I hope they do, because it's going to be a 2-year game. And we have a lot of time between now and when Black Ops 5 comes out. And so during that time, I expect to see tons of improvements, lots of multiplayer guns, lots of multiplayer weapons, balance updates, new game modes, new everything. And if that happens, I think Modern Warfare 2 can continue to be successful, because despite all the problems, I'm still enjoying the game. And I would argue that the honeymoon phase is over by now. It's been over a month pretty much, right? Like, I would argue the honeymoon phase is about over, and we've seen the game without its makeup on. You know what I mean? We've seen the game at its ugliest form, and it's only going to get better from here, I would imagine. I hope. Maybe I'm just being a bit too optimistic there, but yeah, I mean, I guess the focus of this video here today is more of just more of a rant, more of a discussion than anything, but Warzone 2 is killing it, Modern Warfare 2 is killing it, and I wanted to discuss what that means for the Call of Duty player base, the general consumer, the longtime fan, because I feel as though that's the vast majority of the people that watch my channel. And yeah, so there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed this kind of all over the place video. If you did, consider leaving a like, leave your thoughts and feedback on all these topics down there in the comment section below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.